A few weeks ago, I was helping a young woman in an after-school program. She was writing a paper on the country of Haiti, and the paper was unorganized and, frankly, sort of boring, and she was really frustrated with it. So I asked her just to close her computer and tell me one interesting thing she had learned about the country. She paused for a moment, and then she got really excited and said that she had a classmate that was from Haiti and that she had had a conversation with her, and she had asked her about the country as a whole and her experience there. And the answers, she said, were fascinating. I said, "Great, let's put this in the paper." And she said, "No, I can't use this. My teacher said that I couldn't use my friend's stories because it wasn't a serious academic source." Now, what would make her teacher make this choice? One that saps this paper of any connection to real lived story? The answer, I think, at least partially lies in a word. It is a word that is rarely named, much less questioned. The word is scriptocentrism. Now, scriptocentrism basically just means the privileging of text, especially in academia, over any other form or medium of knowledge. If you Google it, you will come up with around 1,200 results. As a quick comparison, if you Google cat memes, you will come up with over 18 million. It is not very popular, but it is hugely influential. There was a man who knew a bit about scriptocentrism, even though the word wasn't around when he was. The man was named Frederick, and you may know him as Frederick Douglass, an escaped slave from Maryland who taught himself to read and write, even though it was illegal for him to do so at the time. Now, Frederick was a prolific writer, and because he was one of few slaves who could write, his writing is invaluable to us. But even he recognized that story cannot always be contained in a text. And in his autobiography, he wrote, and I'll paraphrase, that sitting in the presence of slaves, singing slave songs would do more to tell you about their experience than in the reading of whole volumes of books. You see, scriptocentrism tricks us into believing that all knowledge, all history, all research paper-worthy truth can be contained in text. We are told this through our education system, which is driven by reading and writing standards. We are given statistics on entire countries' education based solely on their literacy rates. Our government has endowed the written word with such power that we go from telling people like Frederick that he has done something illegal when he is caught with papers to telling others they are illegal when they are caught without them. Now, surely, reading and writing can be a powerful tool, sometimes even an equalizer. And it's also true that books can transport us to places that we've never been. But text was never the problem. Scriptocentrism is. It dismisses the voices of those who can't or don't care to speak in an academic way, those who don't speak in standard English. It tricks us into believing that literacy is synonymous with education. It tricks us into believing that literacy means objectivity. But stories are persistent. They are crafty, and they are finding their way into the public discourse in what some are calling the golden age of storytelling. Never before have we had so many mediums through which to tell and hear stories, and it is democratizing the way we produce and consume them. Film has expanded to allow award-winning movies to be shot on iPhones. Podcasts and YouTube are shifting the way we think about public speaking and who has access to it. Story-sharing tools like StoryCorps allow people to interview and immortalize their family members just with the power of an iPhone or a tablet. Even Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram can be powerful story-sharing tools, even though they are sometimes just used to share cat memes. Last month, I was leading a storytelling workshop in a Section 8 nursing home, and I had a 94-year-old Russian immigrant who participated. Her name was Inga. Inga told me before the session started that she couldn't hold a pencil because of years working in a sewing factory. And I said that was fine, she could still participate. But when it came time to write from the writing prompts I gave or to draw, Inga just sat there sort of smiling and remembering. But when it came time to share, she told a beautiful story of herself as a young child in Russia, how she wanted so badly to be like her grandmother that she would dress up in her clothes and in her shoes, even though they were way too big for her. She said her grandmother dipped chewing tobacco, and that one day, as Inga put on her dress, her grandmother came out with a tin of fake snuff for her, made of cocoa powder and sugar, so that Inga could impersonate her more fully. Maybe someday you will hear Inga's voice, because next month I'll be back at that nursing home, and this time I'll come equipped with the StoryCorps app so I can record her stories. I really hope she tells the one of dressing in her grandmother's dresses and shoes, dipping fake snuff. It would be a real shame if you missed it. Thanks.